regional development officers as leaders, the European perspective, our very special guest, Dr. Markku Sotarauta, Director, Research Unit for Urban and Regional Development Studies at the University of Tampere in Finland. Put your hands together for Dr. Sotarauta.
What can I say? Whoa, now it's up to me to keep you awake for 20 more minutes. I have sensed that you are really awake and focused, and now please 20 more minutes. I think I'm the only one here now speaking in a language that is not my own, and quite soon you will realize it's not yours either. I am going to talk about leadership, regional leadership, as something beyond individual leadership, beyond heroic leadership, something that is evolving in time, something that is like a relay. You can think about 4 times 400 meters relay, 4 times 100 meters, or whatever relay. But this is a very different kind of relay. You don't know what the next guy is doing. He may be playing tennis, squash, my favorite sports, ice hockey, or there may be a whole bunch of teams playing it. And I am going to strongly emphasize this kind of leadership that is networked and relayed in time. I am also going to talk about the role of regional development officers, people like you, as everyday leaders who have more important position in this game than we usually tend to think. A few years ago, let's say 2-3 years ago, I met a colleague of mine from business school. I hadn't seen him for a long time, and he said, "Hi Markku, what's up? What you are doing?" And I said that we are having an extensive study on regional development officers. We want to know what they are doing so that we can educate the future regional development officers. And he said, "Oh, regional development officers, those guys who are walking in circles and saying creativity, innovation, sustainability, creativity, innovation, sustainability, and do nothing. They just talk." And I said, well, you are right here. Some of them are like that, not all. They have much more subtle, indirect roles than we can imagine. And we, in Finland and more broadly in Europe, we have been eager to reveal that, at least understand it. But I must admit, some of you are walking in circles and repeating the rhetorics of famous American professors. And that's usually leading us nowhere. I'm an academic working at the university. I have to define something. And I can't speak without defining something. And I defined leadership as something that is about creating a way for other people to contribute something different to happen. Something different. And strategic leadership as referring to abilities to anticipate, envision, maintain flexibility, think strategically, pool the most relevant resources, etc., etc. Those things that were so elegantly stressed by the 3 previous speakers. The question is about connecting people and different kind of resources, and that is difficult. Wherever we go, that is difficult. I use one case from Finland as an example, just to highlight what you can do to make a difference. The region is South Ostrobothnia. I don't want you to repeat the name. It's enough if you know that it's the most rural of the Finnish regions in western Finland. Usually western southern Finland is doing economically fine. Eastern and northern are having a lot of difficulties. But this specific region is very agricultural, very rural, quite old-fashioned, kind of peripheral pocket of the very rapidly evolving knowledge economy of Finland. Finland is investing a lot of money in R&D, innovation systems, knowledge, education, things like that. But in the 90s, this region, policymakers there, politicians, entrepreneurs, they felt like this is not for us. They are talking about science, They are talking about Nokia. They are talking about many kinds of gadgets. It's not for us. And they were really worried about what's going to happen for a very traditional rural region in the knowledge economy. In the mid-90s, they organized a whole series of training sessions for leaders of different organizations. There is a pile this high, different kind of development programs, strategic plans, and it took something like 4 or 5 years for them to understand what they are talking about. They were repeating the words knowledge, innovation, creativity, networking. But it didn't mean anything, because it's really difficult to internalize what it means in daily life. How do you behave differently tomorrow if you are trying to boost knowledge economy compared to working with farmers, for instance? Or 10,000 SMEs. Actually, when I'm saying SMEs in this context, they are employing 3 or less people. So they are micro companies here. The mentality of the region in the 90s was like, education spoils a good worker. Research is analysis, analysis is thinking, thinking is hesitation, hesitation is failure, which means research is failure. Research equals failure. All those people who wanted to have education, they left the region for main cities. Policymakers kept saying there aren't crazy enough people who want to spoil and destroy the Koreas here. And the main newspaper of Finland wrote a huge article about Sunset region. Leave it. And the last one will turn off the lights. And this was the main newspaper of the entire country on Sunday issue. Next Monday, there were crisis meetings in town hall, the regional council, all over the place, and this became a symbol of change. It was not the cause of the change, but kind of symbolic. They wanted to show, we are not out of the game. And suddenly, well, not suddenly, but in the course of the years, 5, 10 years, they started to realize that we can be full members in the knowledge economy, but we have to understand it. We have to understand what we have, what we don't have. We have to interpret it. We have to reinvent our own region. And what they did is basically the same as most of the places in Finland. They built the science park. They strengthened the polytechnics. That is a kind of combination of technical college, business college, nursing college, and farming college. It's a combination of that. And they started increasing research capacity in cooperation with universities. In mid-90s, there were few small university filials doing mainly kind of extension education. They created the plan. I was involved in that one, and there was a lot of discussion. What is the problem? And politicians said, we don't have university, we don't have any chance. And then they had many ideas that we want to have a university. It's impossible. We organized a series of workshops where the key question was posed. What is the problem? It is not the university. And in the end, the analysis was, conclusion was, there is not enough competent people to operate in knowledge economy. We are not good enough, said the people in this region. So it became very people-focused. And you can imagine all the leading politicians, policymakers, company people, university people saying, we are not competent enough, we need to create a model to get more people here to work with us. It's really difficult to get the professorship at the Finnish universities. There are a fixed number of professorships. And an idea emerged. If we do want to get young, talented people, we can offer them professorships with leading universities here. And now there is 16 professors in core areas of the business life of the region, working there with their groups, something like 100, 120 scientists and social scientists from our university, University of Helsinki, etc. And why they are there? They are in their late 30s, early 40s. They don't get a chair at the university yet, but they are good enough to get one when there is opening. And now they are working as professors for 5 years and then again 5 years if they are doing well in this region, and when there is an opening in Helsinki, they are really strong candidates. So they are willing to sacrifice 5-10 years of their academic life in this region just because they can be part of University of Tampere, and who cares about the location internationally and nationally? Every professor is unique. The whole plan was very carefully defined so that all the professors are such that there are no competition. And that's why those people in the region can say, we are adding something. We are complementing the whole national innovation system. We do have the best specialists in consumer behavior in food, functional food, in some SME networking things. And now the regional center is the fastest growing small town. Town is something like 50,000, region 200,000.